अनंत संसार समुद्रतार नौकायिताभ्यां गुरुभक्तिदाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राज्यद पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां श्री विद्या शिववामभागनिलया ह्रीङ्कारमन्त्रोज्ज्वला श्रीचक्राङ्कितबिन्दुमध्यवसति श्रीमत्सभा नायिका श्रीमत्षण्मुखविघ्नराजजननी श्रीमज्जगन्मोहिनी मीनाक्षीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं। कारुण्यवारानिधिं सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलि तारानायकशेखरा स्मितमुखी आपीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्याम् अलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रति सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणा ध्यायेत् पराम् अम्बिका। प्रातरुत्थाय सायाह्नात् प्रातरेव तु यत्करोमि जगन्मातः तदेव तव पूजनम् तदेव तव पूजनम्। बोलो जगन्माता। साक्षात जगत गुरु के स्वरूप में पूरी सभा को मेरा नमस्कार। जगन माता पाहि माम पाहि माम पाहि माम। Please join me in centering yourself. So you're going to take Only one deep breath and just be for a few seconds. Stay there as I request the Divine Mother to let us all experience her presence, her silence within. Gratitude, Divine Mother. Gratitude. You can open your eyes. What you experienced right now, that silence within, is the presence of the Divine Mother within us. Since the mind has some preconceived ideas about how the presence of the Divine Mother should feel, it straight up rejects this. It says, no, this cannot be the presence. The mind cannot fathom that which lights the mind. So, what you all just experienced is the presence of the Divine Mother, the presence of Swamiji, or as I call it, just the presence. That silence. So the next 5 Sundays is mostly going to be practice, a little bit of talking here and there, mostly practice. So again, I'm teaching you this short practice that has been taught to me. I'm sharing. No one can teach, only the Divine Mother can teach. I'm sharing this practice with you. It seems like a very silly practice, but I cannot even begin to share how extremely powerful it is. This practice should not take more than 5 seconds. If it's taking more than 5 seconds, know for a fact mind is cooking up something. All you have to do is you breathe out and you just be. So go ahead, 1, 2, 3, breathe out. Done. So, before I explain to you what we just did, and we will keep doing this throughout this 1 hour of satsang. Every few minutes I'll be like, center yourself, and that's what we need to do. Let's do it again. Go ahead, center yourself. Breathe out and just be for a few seconds. That's it. That state of thoughtlessness that you experience just for a few seconds, that is your center. And when I say go ahead, center yourself, that's exactly what we need to do. Breathe out and just be. So that is centering yourself. Today, Swamiji's quote was, "If you know the art of being a nobody, you can be anybody you want to be." And those few seconds of absolute silence, no thoughts, that's when you are a nobody. And then you can be anybody. So we'll get to that later. So that silence is the presence of the Divine Mother. That presence versus the personality. That's the whole fight. Presence versus the personality. If you remember from the first chapter of Bhagwad Gita, the whole first chapter is all about Arjun's personality. Everything that he has read, everything that he has acquired, everything that has been put in him through social conditioning, and his thoughts, his beliefs, his mental constructs, and all of that stuff. And that's all he pours out to Lord Krishna in the first, which is why it's called Arjun Vishad Yoga. And it would be really insightful to just skim through some of the shlokas to see how much he had up here in his mind. And chapter 2 is all about that presence that we all just experienced just for a few seconds. And that presence personified is Lord Krishna sitting outside with Arjun. The presence is our center. The presence is anirvachaniya, which means it cannot be described in words what that presence is, what that center is. But it can be experienced through negation, which means you keep negating. No, not this, not this, not this. Now you all experienced what center is. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and center ourselves again. That's good. So, that is the center. You cannot describe it in words. You can say, oh, there's no thoughts in there. There's a lot of peace in there. There's bliss in there. All those are words of the mind. Because the mind wants to be there when you're in silence. It wants to prevent us from getting into the presence, because presence takes over personality. And that's the esoteric meaning of the name Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. When the Divine Mother's presence takes over the personality, because only when the personality dissolves, Divine Mother's presence takes over. When the presence takes over, that presence is pure light, right? It can light anything. That's pure awareness. Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. And then Chaturbahu Samanvita. Then comes the personality again. This time, mind, senses, likes and dislikes come again after Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. So once the personality, which was mind, senses, likes and dislikes, has been completely dissolved in the presence, the personality re-emerges, but this time completely under the joy of submission of the Divine Mother. That is what we need to experience. And that is the state of divine love. That is the state of pure wisdom. That is when you are left with nothing but answers. Answers and answers. And that state is not somewhere in the future. That state is here. That state is now. Go ahead, center yourself again. Breathe out. That's it. So as we go through our day, and as life opens up moment to moment, we all want to know, we all want to seek answers and approvals outside. What is the right thing to do? What should I be doing? Should I do this or should I do that? That is because we are not centered. if either we are in the either we are at any given moment, either we are in the presence, either we are the presence, or we are in the personality. When we are in the personality, our view, our perspective is limited because the personality is weaved through memory. Whatever happened in the past few lifetimes, we pick it up and we think, okay, this is it. This is how I need to do. This is the right way of working in life. This is the wrong way. This is moral. This is immoral. But if you are centered most of the time, and which is why the practice of getting centered. Go ahead, center yourself again. That's it. Your mind will again interfere and say, oh, this feels so peaceful. Let's just stay there. When we are operating in the world, in the transactional world, we don't need to sit down every few minutes and just meditate. We have to enter into multiple activities that we take up. Like before the satsang, center yourself. I, before the satsang, center myself. You see, I have no notes to follow. But I just center myself, and absolutely what people need to hear in this sabha flows out. Because when you are centered, you are connected directly to the higher source, the highest of intelligence. Divine Mother is Trikaldarshi. She knows the past, present and future. So the one who really has that panoramic view of life, of how my life has to unfold. My mind doesn't know. My mind only knows the past. Based upon the past, my mind starts to construe the future and the present. But the one that knows my past, present and future is the presence. The presence as the noun, the presence of the Divine Mother. Divine Mother within me knows my past, present and future. If I enter into life and various events of life, like right now, this morning, right? I woke up, satsang. I entered the satsang in my mind. So I'll only tell you what I have read from books, what I have heard in discourses, because I'm operating purely out of memory. There is nothing new to give you, because mind is nothing but stale stuff rotting there. I heard satsangs, I heard discourses, I picked up few good things, I'm starting to tell you. I read books, from the books I'm telling you stuff. So it's all stale knowledge, and most of the times it won't land. But before the satsang, I center myself. So the things that are beyond the comprehension of my mind start flowing out from the source directly. After the satsang, maybe I'll go cook some breakfast, empty my mind. Empty my mind using that breath, out breath, one exhalation, center myself, start cooking breakfast. I will know exactly, because I'm creating that connection constantly with the divine source, guiding me all the time. What should I be doing? What should I be cooking? How should I be cooking? And whatever I'm cooking, the connection is just making it all happen. I agree we are not mindful 100% of the time. It's not like, I'll start cooking and I won't think of anything. I'll keep thinking. Again, my mind will wander off. But every time I can remember, I'll center myself. Let's go ahead and center ourselves again. That's it. After maybe the breakfast, today I have another satsang lined up. Again, I'll breathe out, center myself, enter in there. Maybe after that, I have to go to pick up my son. So then I'll get in the car. Before I start driving, I'll center myself. While I'm driving, if I remember, again, I'll center myself. Remember, you don't need to close your eyes to center yourself. Let's go ahead and center ourselves with our eyes open. That's it. So as I take up new activities, as life opens up moment to moment, this is all I keep doing all day. Keep myself centered. Keep myself centered. There are only two things. There is the center and then there is the manifestation. The manifestation, if you're lost in it's like the movie, right? There is this source, the projector, and the entire movie. If you're lost in the movie, it seems real. Then emotions come, everything, we might even cry there, all of that happens. But if you're at the source can change the reel that's playing. Right now, because we are stuck in the manifestation, we are suffering. Right? Sometimes we feel happy, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we're confused. All of this stems from being in the personality. So centering yourself, always you find yourself confused, center, center, center. Center yourself so much that you never find yourself confused. So many times a day. It's literally a 5-second practice. 2 seconds to breathe out. 3 seconds to just be. And then get on with your life. Whatever you need to do. You will watch. And since we are all here, whoever is here today has willingly come to learn something. To get these teachings from the Divine Mother directly. And I can promise you with utmost conviction, because this is what I practice and I see the benefits. When you, even one day, practice, even half a day, practice getting centered. And just before going to bed, again center yourself, and this time, with closed eyes, stay in that center as long as you can. You will be surprised how thoughtless you can get. All these months of struggling in meditation, all these months of trying to be thoughtless, and it will come as naturally as it will almost be a surprise. You will question, am I really thoughtless? Because now the mind cannot fathom this state wherein it is just not given a chance to speak. So that is centering yourself. Now comes, next time, let's go ahead and center yourself. But this time, when you center and you stay there, you stay for a few seconds. Go ahead, breathe out. Watch your mind to see what is the first thought that emerges, and watch it very carefully. You can stop. Who was watching the mind? The mind was quiet, but who was watching the mind? Let's do this again. This time focusing on who's watching this mind. Who in me is watching the mind? Breathe out. You can open your eyes. that which is watching the mind is our true nature. That awareness, if you want to call it awareness, that awareness was watching the mind. That is our true nature. That awareness is the same within me, within you, within Swamiji, within all other saints, and within everyone else in the creation. Because that awareness is the Divine Mother, is Lord Shiva, is Krishna, is Buddha. That awareness watches the mind. That awareness manifested outside is Swamiji. That awareness within is your higher self, is the Divine Mother. So many times during the day, when you center yourself, you operate out of that center, you are guided by your higher self. In everything that you do, you are guided by the higher self. When you are guided by the higher self, appropriate action comes out. I did not say right or wrong. Every moment of life as it unfolds demands action. That action, when it comes from the center, when it comes while you're connected with the higher self, is the appropriate action, is the dharma. And that's what Lord Krishna told Arjuna. Arjuna Vishad Yoga is all about the manifestation, what the mind construes. Second chapter is all about the presence, operating from the presence. Let's go ahead and center ourselves again. And this time when we center, stay there for a little longer and watch who's watching the mind. Go ahead, breathe out and empty yourself, empty your mind. Watch the mind closely. Pay attention to that which is watching the mind. You can open your eyes. That is you. I am that. But most of the time, because our languages are flawed, we say, I'm worried, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm confused. No. I am is never confused. I am is never sad. I am is never extremely happy either. I am just is. So first thing we need to do is create a little distance. Right now, the I am and the mind are mixed up so badly that we don't know which part of us is sad, which part of us is feeling emotions of sadness or extreme happiness or jealousy or greed or whatever it is, because it's all mixed up. The whole point of this short practice is to continuously keep a distance, create a distance, because if the mirror is held too close to the face, we won't be able to see anything. So to see our own self, a little distance has to be created. That distance is between the awareness that we truly are with our mind. The mind has thoughts. Based upon the contents of the mind, many things are created. The silence or the awareness just watches everything that goes on. So Today's satsang is only about two things. First, center yourself. Second, create a distance. If you are feeling sad, don't say, I'm feeling sad. Right there, with the first, creating the distance begins with language. My mind is feeling sad. Right away, you know you're not the mind. You don't have to take on the expression of mind as yourself. My mind is disturbed. As soon as you create that distance, then okay, there is something you can do about it. You as awareness. Right now, whenever we say I, it is the false self that we are talking about because it's all mixed up. When I say I'm worried, because it's all mixed up, the mind, the awareness, everything is mixed up, I say I'm sad. But as we start creating this distance, we realize that I am is untouched, is in always a pristine state of awareness. The mind may get disturbed, may get sad, may get confused. So first, learn to create, watch, and the first step towards creating this distance is to center yourself constantly, because even little bit of effort to separate the presence from the personality leads to a huge change, huge transformation with only an ounce of practice. Let's go ahead and center ourselves and watch that distance. Even if thoughts come, it's okay. Watch them. Know that there is something that is thoughtless within. There is a stream of silence upon which all the noise happens. And it's okay. It's like, you're sitting in a room, TV is playing. Many things are happening on the TV. There are some headlines coming. There is Arnab Goswami. There's 4 or 5 people who are screaming and shouting. You're just sitting there, not paying attention to them. That's it. So let's go ahead and center ourselves, but this time, let's create that distance between who we truly are, which is the presence. Let the presence watch the personality. But know that when the master is watching, the mind is quiet. When the master is not watching, the mind puts up a show. So, with this practice of centering ourselves all day long, many times a day, especially before starting any task, we connect with our master, with our higher self. That higher self, unmanifest is Divine Mother, manifest is Swamiji. We connect with that higher self and we perform our actions in the world. And that is the path of dharma. That is doing the appropriate action. So let's go ahead, center first, empty your mind. So exhale, empty your mind, center yourself and create a distance between who you truly are versus who you're not. Breathe out. If the mind has started to bring thoughts, let it. Everything in nature needs to do its own dharma. Mind's dharma is to constantly create thoughts. Don't get lost in them. Be centered. You can open your eyes. It is a very, very important practice to create the distance between who you truly are versus who you're not. The world that we see around, if you're just looking at the outside, your eyes open, whatever is in front of you, you're just looking. Who's looking? So let's center ourselves with our eyes open this time. Whatever is in front of you, you're looking at it. Instead of focusing on what you're looking at, focus on who's looking. That's good. And that's how the Tibetan practice of wall gazing happens. You're just looking at the wall first, and then you slowly bring your awareness to the one that's actually looking. Who's looking through your eyes at the wall? So instead of focusing on what you're looking at, focus on who's looking. If you find thoughts coming in, don't be agitated. Keep focusing on who's looking. That's good. So since we're doing this in 5 sessions, today's take home is really 2 things. Keep centering yourself before starting any new action. As such, life just flows. There are no distinctions. But for the ease of practice, before taking up a new task, any new task that could be, breathe out, empty your mind, center yourself, then enter. If you find yourself confused, disturbed, empty your mind, center yourself, and then operate. Your entire world, which consists of your thoughts, your people, your family, your acquaintances, etc., your material possessions, everything, your world, the center of your world is you. If you are not centered yourself, the entire world will be constantly in a state of unrest. And you will see this short, simple practice, which takes less than 5 to 6 seconds, eventually, and when I say eventually, I'm not saying 10 years down the lane, few weeks of this practice, few days of this practice will start bringing your world at a very conducive, very harmonious state, because you are in the center. If you are centered, everything in your world is at peace, at rest. When I say at peace, again the mind construes all these preconceived ideas about what peace is. It's just that you will be left with nothing but answers. To have clarity is heaven. To not know what to do at a given moment, that's real suffering. But when you center yourself, if you don't know what to do, center yourself, because then whatever happens will be the appropriate action. So to operate in your world appropriately, you need to be centered. To operate in my world with my people, even interaction with everyone, if you empty your mind, center yourself, and then start interaction, you will see you are centered, and because they are a projection of your own center. It's like Deepak and the Kanti, the Jyoti. In a dark room, if there is a diya, that is the center. From there, the light is the world. So my entire world is lit by that Deepak that's within me. But if my awareness is lost, then the Deepak will be unrest. So my entire world depends on me being centered, always in the center. So it is something I practice all day, every day. Which is why, if for some reason in the evenings I do not get time to meditate the way I want to, I am at peace, because all day I have been in that meditative state. And even if I am able to sit for 5 to 7 minutes in the night before going to sleep, I feel that extreme quietude, that silence, and I am able to dive in that for a little longer. So this short, simple practice, I cannot tell you how extremely powerful it is. So I'm the only reason I'm glorifying it so much is I'm hoping you will practice and gain the presence, losing the personality. And we will go into the depths of the personality in the coming sessions. But today's session was only to share this short practice of how to be centered, to operate out of your center, to be connected to the higher self. And that's what Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaj mamekam sharanam vraj aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Sarva dharman parityaj. If we are in the confines of the mind, then there is right. Okay, these actions are right, these are not wrong, these are wrong, these are moral actions, these are immoral. How can I do this? How can I do that? Oh my God. Then all these, that's exactly what Arjuna was saying, right? How can I kill my own grandfather? How can I kill my own brothers? How can I do this, Krishna? How can I do this? Because he is in the mind. So Arjuna Vishad Yoga is truly enlightening, because that's when you see how the mind cooks up all this useless stuff. Which is why the practice starts with empty your mind. Breathe out, empty your mind, center yourself. And then whatever comes out is the appropriate action. According to the mind, sometimes it could be a bad action, but it is appropriate. Have that faith in your center. Have that faith in the Divine Mother, that she will make appropriate things happen. And never prepare for any of these satsangs, because I have this faith that if I'm centered, it will just flow. So getting centered does two things. First, it will really strengthen your faith in the presence. Right now we are so strong in our personalities. I know this is right. I know I need to do this. I know I'm not doing this. I am a bad person. All of this exists in the personality. Personality is very strong. Presence is weak. So with this practice, the presence becomes magnanimous. Udyat bhanu sahasrabha. And the personality keeps dissolving. And there will come a time when all there is presence. You have ignored the personality so much. You've operated out of the presence so much that the personality has faded away. And then all your actions are appropriate. So the second thing that happens is you never suffer guilt or pride. You never feel, oh, look how great I am. Look what a great satsang I did. Because you know, out of memory, a satsang cannot emerge. Preaching can emerge, satsang cannot. Satsang is you are connected with the sang. You are connected with your higher self and it's just flowing. And since you all are also centered, it is going straight through. It is going straight through from here to there, from here to there. So you will not suffer guilt. I will never sit after the satsang, oh, I wish I didn't say that. I hope I haven't caused any harm. I hope I haven't hurt someone. All these things will just leave you. You do what is appropriate and you keep moving on. Because to the mind, an action might seem a bad action. But remember, there is a succession of events that are going on. A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. At any moment when I enter my action field, my action at that moment might just be B to C. A to B has already happened. B to C is my job. C to D has to happen. D to E has to happen. And B to C will happen anyway. Because that is the force of nature. B to C will happen. But my mind interferes in between and says, oh, I wish I didn't do that. I can't believe I did that. B to C has already happened according to the divine will. But now the mind is groping in darkness. I wish I didn't do that. I can't believe I did that. I'm such a bad person. All this guilt. Guilt will leave you permanently. Pride will leave you permanently. Oh, look how great I am. Look what I did. Because your presence is so magnanimous. You have no time for this BS that the mind cooks up. So it starts with being centered, being centered, being centered. Breathe out, empty your mind, be centered. And let me tell you, you might think, oh, this seems like a tough practice. Will I be able to do it? Will I remember? My 7-year-old son does it. Before we get in the car, Smaran, go ahead, breathe out, center yourself. He will do it. Before starting homework, go ahead, Smaran, breathe out, center yourself. In between homework, he's losing attention, he's losing interest. Smaran, go ahead, breathe out, center yourself. Yesterday he told me, Mama, you're right, it actually helps. Centering yourself. Ideas keep coming. What do I write? He was doing a writing project on creative writing and he was stuck. And I was in the kitchen and I just saw him and he was centering himself. It's easy yet extremely powerful practice. Do it and discover for yourself what appropriate action is. With this appropriate action, moment to moment, and the more you keep doing this practice, one day will come, you don't even have to do it anymore. It's happening automatically. Your default becomes your center. Right now, the default is the mind. We are citizens of the mind. With this practice, we keep coming and going from the mind to the center, from the mind to the center. And with practice, you will start enjoying the center more. You will see how everything in your world, starts to align properly. Because you are centered. You are the center of that wheel being your sansar. So you will be in the center of that wheel. And when you are in the center, you are able to see everything, control everything. Not control. Some things I just cannot explain. It is for you to really practice and discover the joy of being centered. So many people privately message me with whatever queries they may have. It's not like I know the answer to all their problems or their questions. All I do is before answering, I empty my mind, center myself, and start typing or start recording small audio messages, and whatever needs to come for them just flows. So, getting centered, as I said, you are left with nothing but answers. Your questions have disappeared because the one asking the question is dead. The mind is full of questions, and we will get to that in the coming satsangs. Today's satsang, let's focus only on two things. Center, center, center. Center yourself. Create a distance. Don't, with language, don't say, I'm upset, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm confused. It's okay to say, yes, my mind is confused. Let me center myself and let's see if an answer comes up. In the beginning, because we are just literally stepping out of the mind into the center and coming back, we might not have some major breakthrough. But trust the presence with all your heart. That's where all the answers lie. So in Hindi, as it says, bhakti ki parakashtha ye hai कि ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपको सारे अपने प्रश्नों के उत्तर मिल जाएंगे, पर भक्ति की पराकाष्ठा ये है कि आपके सारे प्रश्न मिट जाएंगे, क्योंकि आप ये समझ जाएंगे कि प्रश्न जहाँ से उत्पन्न होते हैं वो आप हैं ही नहीं. Mind's natural state is clarity, completely clear. If you type clarity of mind in Google, right, and look up images, you will see these pebbles and still water, or you will see mountains and still lake and the mountains reflecting in it. You will never see colored water, because clarity is when the mind is clear, the divinity shines forth. The presence that we all experience will shine forth. Let's go ahead and center ourselves and enjoy that presence for a little longer than we would practice outside. So first, breathe out, empty your mind. That's good. So the thoughtlessness that you may have never experienced before, or probably you have experienced, you see, it's so simple. Your center can do wonders. And Mother has created everything with such love. Mother is unconditional love. She is the creation. She is unconditional love. Does she really want us to be confused, sad, upset, depressed? No. Try being in the center. Try being where the Mother wants you to be. Then really, I'm telling you, your same world, same people, same acquaintances, same jobs, same scenarios will just become a harmonious, peaceful lake. This is something I have experienced. Even before starting every patient's work, even before entering my operatory, I breathe out, center myself. While I'm giving them anesthesia, I breathe out, center myself. While I'm working on their teeth, breathe out, center myself. I do this so many times a day. And when you do that all day, your awareness is what is getting fed. And your mind is slowly losing grip on you. All the misery is created by the mind. So continuously center yourself and create the distance. Watch how your mind sometimes feels sad, sometimes feels happy, sometimes feels proud, sometimes feels guilty. Until you do this exercise for the next 7 days and then again we meet up on Sunday, you really will not be able to absorb and enjoy what's going to be said in the next series, because this centering yourself and creating a distance is the foundation to understand the contents of the mind so we can drop them effectively. It's only, when you start cleaning up a room, let's say, first you have to be aware what's in there. What do you want to keep? What do you want to drop? What you have used in the past 6 months, what you have not. So to take a good look at the contents, we need to be first centered. If not, we will be lost in the contents again. So which is why the next 7 days, I'm literally pleading you, practice this very short, simple practice many, many, many times a day. If you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, breathe out, empty your mind, center yourself. You are driving with your eyes open, breathe out, empty your mind, center yourself. Sometimes we tend to take, I didn't want to go this way, but I did. Even that will disappear because you will know you were centered and this is where you are supposed to go. You were supposed to take this detour. So faith in your own self starts building. Then your dependence on outside answers, outside approvals will diminish to a point you will really need no help from outside. You will become self-centered, self-dependent. And when I say self, the true self, not the false self. Self-centered, self-dependent. When I say self-centered, not really meaning selfish. You are centered, you are dependent. You need an answer, you know where the answer resides, in the presence. Sometimes the answers, it's not like Google. You type in and from the presence comes the answer. And that's how you build faith. You center yourself, you start operating. And then you have a question for yourself. Okay, how do I do this? How do I get this answer from my center? You center yourself. You don't even have to take the time to express that question because the center knows it all. Your center, Divine Mother, knows every thought you create, every bhav you create, every question you create. Just be centered, keep on doing. The answer will come in the most beautiful, unexpected way. And then it will be like an aha moment because then it has come from within. Not from a book, not from a satsang, not from not from Google or not from a quote. It will come in the most interesting way, the answer. And this will go on for a little bit and then you will reach a state wherein you will have no questions. But while you still have questions, I'm telling you, you are just a breath away. That's what it says. God is so close, He's just a breath away. And that's why the breath is the first connection to the Divine Mother. And that breath is the Bala Swarup of the Divine Mother. Bala Tripura Sundari. That is the breath, the Prana Shakti. So with this very short, simple practice, keep centering yourself. Keep acting in your world with your people, your acquaintances, your friends, your material possessions, your jobs, everything. Let it all be connected through your center. Operate from the center and really enjoy your life. And that is the art of living. To live from the center, connected to your higher source that resides directly within your heart. If you can master that, and it is so easy, 7 days of practice is more than enough to master your center. You will be a totally transformed person by next Sunday if you put your heart in this practice. Then all these feelings of guilt and pride will leave you forever. because you will just keep acting out of that center. You will just know what to do, what to say, how to do it, how to say it. There will be no more confusions. All the duality of to be or not to be will leave you forever. All these messages I get when I wake up in the morning, I have allotted some time before I start cooking in the kitchen. I have half an hour to answer questions because I get so many. While I'm sleeping, people in India are awake. They're all questioning me. It's not like I know their life situation. It's just that I'm centered. So my goal here is to share this center, to share this short technique so you can be centered. And if you are centered, your life will be at peace, in harmony, and you will be a powerful instrument of the presence to put others in that same state. So enough of groping with our own problems. Now we have to rise to a higher level of vibration wherein Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. We are really experiencing that name, Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. Her Majesty's presence is magnanimous, like that of 1,000 suns. So continuously keep striving to center yourself. It is as easy as, let's go ahead and do it all. Breathe out. That's it. That state is so blissful. It's so hard to even come out of that state. It almost wants you to be in that meditative state. So while you're awake with your eyes open, practice this many, many times during the day. And just see at the end of the day when you sit down and you do this breathe out and just be, you can just be. Gratitude, Divine Mother. Gratitude. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Asato Ma Satkamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirkamaya. Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, the three Shantis are for your world. Om is that pillar, that center. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Let's have a good discussion. Questions? Right now questions are allowed. It's going to only help. So don't hold your questions back. Let it all out. We'll all benefit. Sudhir, बोलिए जी.
Good evening, Anuji.
हाँ जी.
Actually, this was very nice. But I have one question or doubt. That while when we are exhaling and then when we are keeping ourselves in sentence, should we have to hold the breath? If I need to hold the breath, then how long it will?
No holding the breath. So this practice should be very natural.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you should be able to do it anytime. Like you are sitting down with all your family members, and you're sitting and you just want to be centered. You should just be able to. You don't have to hold your breath. You just be. Only one time you focus on your out breath. And the out breath is with the instruction, empty your mind. So you're attaching an instruction to the breath. Because there will come a time, Sudhir, in everyone's life when the out breath will happen and the in breath will not happen. But if you have trained yourself, out breath, empty your mind. And when at that moment, the last moment, when you breathe out, empty your mind, you are empty. You are in the presence and you will merge in the presence. पूरी तैयारी उस क्षण के लिए है. So it should, first thing, it should be a very natural practice. You breathe out. And you're there. That's it. Don't try to be there for a long time, because that's not what we are supposed to do when we are out and about, right? When we are out in the world, when you are at the job, before meetings, before talking to colleagues, before having your lunch, whatever. You cannot just go and be in meditation just because it feels good. I'm just going to be here for 10 minutes, skip all my work. Then understand that is the mind's play. Then the mind is slowly, stealthily creeping in and saying, I'm still here. The presence is gone. All you have to do is, before you enter anything new or during your work, whenever you remember, gently breathe out and just be. Don't hold your breath. Did that answer your question, Sudhir?
Yeah, now it's still easy, because whatever I have done during that session, I was keep on holding it for 5-10 seconds.
See, I'm so glad you asked. I wonder how many other people were doing that. But thank you. See, questions always help. Thank you very much. It's clear now, Sudhir, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead. Anyone else? Tavishi, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Ruchi.
Hanji.
This is really nice, very, very helpful. When we breathe out, sometimes you just center and your attention go in between your eyebrows. Is this my awareness, or is this I'm centering myself?
Got it.
I don't know how to explain this.
Got it. Mm-hmm. See, the mind, right? It wants definitions. It wants technical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You always are, Tavishi. You always are. Then we start filling the blank. Tavishi is blah blah, is a wife, is a woman, is sad, is happy, is extremely happy, all this. But Tavishi is your default state. And that is such a natural state. Right now, you're centered. Where is your attention? Eyebrows, Sahasrar, Kundalini. Right now, Tavishi is that's it. You're centered. And when I'm saying you're centered, it is something you have to discover on your own, what that state is. Initially, the mind cooks up so many states. It's like, oh, look, your thing is going here, it's going here, it's doing this, you're flying. It's all a cooking up of the mind. It is your natural state, Tavishi. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, that silence, your silence that I experienced, that is your natural state.
Yeah.
So-
Understood now. Yeah. Thank you, Anuji.
So what I'm saying is just keep doing this practice. Don't, like Nike, right? Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. In 7 days, you will know. You will know intuitively what that state is. Today I gave
Because
you.
this thing
Go ahead.
always confuse me. This is like today I got the word awareness and myself. This two different words. So this thing always confused me. Like it is awareness, what I am just not breathing or just breathing or stopping every thought, or is this state myself, true myself? So it's I think I understood somehow. Maybe let's see after 5 days and after 7 days maybe.
Remember, this state cannot be understood. Because whatever in this world we learn new, right? We get it through our mind.
Yeah.
But nothing worldly can touch the awareness, because it's like, a torch, flashlight hoti hai. The bulb wants to say, hey, I want to see where my source is. As soon as the bulb turns around, the connection is lost.
Yeah.
The connection is the source of all the knowing. So don't worry about all these technical words. Just quit all this. Just quit trying to understand. Just breathe out, empty your mind, and just be. It's as simple as that's it. 2 or 3 seconds to take to center. Do this for 7 days. On this, Mother will build later. I myself don't know what's going to happen next Sunday. To be absolutely truthful, I don't know what's going to happen next Sunday. But Mother said, today, focus on only centering. We'll start from the center. We don't want to start from the mind and then at the end come to the center. Start from the center, because this is all about experience. In these 5 weeks, Tavishi should be a completely transformed person. Completely centered, knowing exactly what to say, when to say, how to say. No more questions, no more confusions, no more to be or not to be. Does that make sense, Tavishi?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Don't be shy, don't be scared. Go ahead, ask your questions. See, others are benefiting too.
अनुजी,
हाँ जी, नमस्ते सुजाता
नमस्ते
जी.
सुजाता बाहिती है. अनुजी, मैंने स्वामी जी के सामने एक चिट लिखी रखा हुआ है, which writes कि I want to learn the art of dying.
Well, today was the beginning.
Yeah, imagine. I'm just so full of gratitude. Can you believe I can show you that picture?
I believe you. I believe you, my love. I believe you.
Please teach me how to die. And it's come right here. Can't imagine.
Such is
It's
the
so
grace.
amazing, and I'm so grateful for all that is happening. Just wanted to be grateful.
Well, now he has shown you the way. You have to practice.
Yes, I will. I will.
That
Mother used to be my East, You know how it is for us. She used to be my East sometime back. Then Shiva became my East, and now a lot of confusions, doing a lot of things in life like Vipassana, art of living, etc., etc. After I went to the ashram, I really started liking, because again, I really like the presence of Swamiji. And then I had some problem. I had gone into a very severe depression. So I had gone to Swamiji. He told me to do something in water, and so I did, and I was much, much better. So then I wrote a few things, in a piece of paper which I kept in front of his picture in my room, in my box room. And he's trying to help me and guide me in everything I want to do, I think. And so he sent you also in my life.
Well,
So
he's equipping all of us today so we can help others. So let's help ourselves first. 7 days of intense practice.
Yes.
Yes, I like to hear that. And I like to see that conviction that yes, I'm going to do it. Superb. Thank you, Sujata.
Thank you.
Anyone else, please? No one? Okay. So let's go ahead, center ourselves again.
I think all are already centered.
All right, let's go ahead and center ourselves. Okay. All right. Well, you all have a nice Sunday and nice 7 days of centering yourself constantly. Okay.